Mujiwiyepi viewers, welcome to today's episode of Load Shedding, a show that focuses on current affairs pertaining to Africa. Today, we shall be focusing on the positive aspect. My name is Kees. No matter where you look, every continent, country or entity has some form of gender equality that it still needs to address. Therefore, it is no surprise that it is also a very heavily discussed topic in the African media. And that's something that we're going to focus on today. Both last week and this week, Zambia hit the news with regards to gender equality. Last week it spoke about Mother's Day. Now, Mother's Day is usually something we think of where we give our mothers some kind of gifts like chocolates or a bouquet or a bottle of wine, but this is a different kind of Mother's Day. You see, working women, and it doesn't matter if they're mothers or not, are allowed to take one day off in a month, every month. Now, the reason for why women are given the day off is not specified. Furthermore, it's also not mentioned how a woman should take this day off, the set parameters for it. So in actual case, what can happen is that a woman can call in to their boss and on the same day and say, "Hello, I'm calling in to claim my Mother's Day today." The implementation of this law was already being debated on or viewed on in the 90s and later on became concrete. Now, the actual reason or the actual verdict on whether this law is a good thing or a bad thing is still up for grabs even by the women themselves. Those that take it claim that that it comes in handy on certain days, like during the start of, say, a period where the pains are too heavy so they can sit it out at home. Those that are against it say that it may cause laziness amongst women and therefore it would not be progressive for a working career lady on the work floor. From a personal point of view, I don't think that this law is such a bad thing. I mean, look at it this way. 90% of the time, it is the woman that is the central point of a family. That means that she takes care of the kids, she makes sure that the household is okay, and so in terms of groceries and whether it's in order, she makes sure that her husband is taken care of. At the same time, she also has her career. That is a lot of things that are going on during a daily life. So just that one day in a month, I don't think that is such a bad thing. The only thing that I do have a grievance with is with the law itself being so vague. I mean, what needs to be made are some set parameters into which a woman has to ensure that those are put into place before that she's able to take that day off. I.e., is there backup? Is the workload not too much? Maybe some workload can already be done before she takes the day off, etc., etc. That I agree with. Now, I'm sure that we can all agree that the most important part in a job is actually getting the job done effectively and properly. And, of course, women are as good as men in this, or maybe even better. Which brings me to the next point. What we heard as well is that Thokozile Muwamba, a 24-year-old, has managed to become Zambia's first female fighter pilot. She joined the military in 2012 and was fortunate enough to be enrolled into the Air Force's Bridge the Gender Gap program, which enabled her to become the fighter pilot that she is today. Now, Second Lieutenant Thokozile Muwamba is not the only female pilot in Zambia. In fact, last year, Besa Mumba gained headlines the world over as she gained her wings at the tender age of 19. She now flies commercially for a Zambian airline called Proflight. Neither is the second lieutenant the very first female fighter pilot in the whole of Africa. In fact, just as she had enrolled military back in 2012, Nigeria had signed its first female fighter pilot by the name of Blessing Liman. Well, there you have it. Some positive stories on true African women reaching for the stars and kicking some serious butt in the meantime. I hope that as you pursue your dreams this week, you're encouraged by their example. That's it for this week. Thank you very much for joining. My name is Kees. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. See you next time.